I've heard that in areas where home care has run out because of staffing difficulties, people are being put into care homes by councils as the next best thing. Does that have legal implications?
Oh, absolutely, yes. For a start, it may well make somebody deteriorate. It can de-skill you to be done unto, which is often the culture in a care home because of the extremity of people's needs, rather than being helped or coaxed to do stuff for yourself. So that can actually be bad for people, and I don't think it's acceptable. Sometimes you find that people who really couldn't be left at home without the special type of re-ablement care that they should have been given, you find that if they're put in a care home, they will be charged what's called a low respite fee because it's envisaged that they're only going to be there temporarily. So they may still feel that they're doing okay. But if you think about it, they're only in that care home because the council has run out of home care. And that's a commissioning failure. And home care would always be less than the cost of a care home. So it's not clear to me in that situation that some clients are not being overcharged. I think that in that situation, a good authority would acknowledge their own failure, and they would ensure that whatever they are charging the person for the care home isn't more than what the cost of the care would have been if they'd received it via home care services, i.e. services that visited the person at home. Of course, a really good authority would just crack on and find more home care. And that isn't a counsel of perfection. It envisages buying more care by paying more money so that companies have got more money with which to attract decent staff. What is really cheeky, and what happens in the real world, is that the person who's been popped into a care home moulders there for longer than they should, then they deteriorate and they are reassessed, and magically they now need to be in a care home, and because they're settled and the family wants to keep them there, the council then says to the family, well, you'll have to pay a top-up to keep this person in this particular care home because it costs more than our usual rate. And what's wrong with that, of course, is that the local government ombudsman has done loads of reports and really sterling work about what is required for a valid assessment when a person might have to move from a care home. The moral is that councils have to decide, first and foremost, whether they can even therapeutically appropriately expect the person to move. And if they can't, then the council is obliged to pay full cost for that care home. It's only if the person could feasibly be cared for elsewhere that it's then appropriate to ask the family for a top-up. But that is being lost in translation, and councils get away with what I call toxic top-ups all the time. So that kind of stuff is bad enough when it's a self-funding person who's been paying privately and their money has gone down to the capital threshold for the state taking over. But it's doubly shocking if the person should never have been put in a care home in the first place, and the real problem is that the council has run out of home care.